Last week, semi-functional adult Kate wrote in with this plea. Somewhere between the 1960s and the 1980s, a guy has found himself with no eyebrows. Again, a great start for a kid's book, I would just like to say. Is absurdly proud to have two little stick-on lines instead. They keep falling off or getting restuck in ridiculous positions. It's like two freelance windscreen wipers ending up all over his forehead. A couple of suggestions which to be honest, I didn't think get anywhere close.
Okay.
Someone who appears to be called Just Passing Through, part of our Chairborne squadron. The description of the man with no eyebrows reminded me of a very funny scene in the 1983 film Hysterical, the only feature film made by the Hudson brothers, one of whom is Kate Hudson's father. It was a frequently surreal, absurd and silly horror comedy, and the scene I'm reminded of is when the protagonist gets his eyebrows burnt off by the oven and his attempt to paint them on just escalates. Eton Mess, also of our Chairborne squadron. That description put me in mind of Police Academy 3, when Captain Mauser has his eyebrows ripped off after gaffer tape is used as a substitute blindfold. He spends the rest of the movie with an assortment of ridiculous-looking false eyebrows. Now, I suspect, Kate, that they're not what you're talking about, but do some watching. Let us know, mayo@bbc.co.uk. We'll be back with a new one later on.
Do you know that when they made The Devils and Oliver Reed starred as Grandier, Urban Grandier, at the end of The Devils there is the burning sequence, and as a result of that, Grandier is bald and shaved and has no eyebrows, and Oliver Reed insisted that his eyebrows be insured in case after they shaved them off they didn't grow back.
Oh right, that's a fear and a worry. And did they?
Yeah, of course. You've seen Oliver Reed in subsequent films after The Devils. He had eyebrows.
So they might be fake.
No, they were real eyebrows, but the film company had to insure him against his eyebrows not growing back.
But before we get there, time for a second, what's that film? Katie in Chester, before we actually get there, says, just wanted to say how delighted I am that this feature continues. Mark's exasperation and annoyance at the mere mention of the name is worth the price of admission alone. As someone once said, it goes down well with a cup of tea. What should be the price of admission for this show? What should be? Just name a price. What would it?
$4.99.
I think half a crown.
Half a sixpence.
Yeah.
Half a sixpence.
Okay, that was fine. Anyway, here's Ben. Dear Thompson and Thompson, I'm hoping that the community can put a minor demon of my childhood to rest.
Okay.
I saw this film in the cinema as a child. I suspect that it was The Watershed in Bristol, somewhere between 1990 and 1994. A boy loses his hair for reasons I cannot recall.
Okay.
In despair, he visits a witch-like figure in a spooky, possibly dream sequence. This isn't going to end well, is it?
Not.
If you've got hair problems, don't go and see a witch. She furnishes him with a miraculous recipe for hair restoral. Again, this is going to be...
And it must grow infinitely or something.
I think this involved peanut butter, among other things. Anyway, all goes well for a time, of course, as the boy enjoys his magical new Barnet. That's a good name for a film. Magical new Barnet.
And why is Barnet hair?
I did know this. Remind me.
Barnet Fair.
Barnet Fair hair. Very good. Disaster strikes, however, when in a game of football, the school bully takes hold of his ersatz locks and tears the sorcerer's toupee from his scalp. I remember being shaken to my core by that moment and the boy's resulting despair. I have no memory of the remainder of the film. Can anyone help me identify it so that I can revisit and hopefully reassess what is still my most distressing cinematic experience? Down with bald shaming and other evils, up with all feminists, whatever their follicular situation. Follicular. Ben in Bristol. So if you know what's going on there, mayo@bbc.
Well, you know, remarkably, I do know what that film is.
Oh, okay, don't bother then, because Mark's going to tell you.
No, I don't know. I've got a clue.
Oh, okay.
I've got no idea what it is. It's just
Email.
like every week it's the same thing. It's like, this is why this is funny. Ha, ha, ha. Mark doesn't know what it is.
You weren't listening.
Oh, and it was so specific. He
At the
doesn't
start,
know. Let's keep doing it, because it's really funny. It's
Then-
worth the price of admission, apparently.
At the start, he
You know,
said...
bear baiting is no longer a legal sport.
I'm hoping, he said at the beginning, that the community can put a minor demon of my childhood to rest. Does he say, I'm hoping that Mark can
It
put a
doesn't
minor
matter. It doesn't. It,
Does he say that? Does he say that?
You don't
Does he say
have
that?
to
Does
say
he
it.
that?
You don't have to say it. That must be so annoying when you do that at home. Does he? Does he? Does he?
He doesn't.
Does he? Almost annoys me going,
Anyway, if you can help.
we are both going to get kicked out of our houses very soon. You do know that, don't you?
It's quite likely. More likely we get kicked off the radio. That'd be more likely.